Lokati here. Today we are working on our 1 div witch. And so this is a Hex Blast minor tanky witch that we have spent about 1 divine worth of currency on gearing. And we are looking to see how it does in T17s. We're going to start off with this Abomination map. Shocked ground increases damage taken by 50%, so don't stand in shocked ground. Monsters gain endurance charges. Hexproof doesn't affect us because we're occultist tech. Unique boss has more life sucks, and monsters have more resistances. Gonna make everything take a lot longer. Maven interferes with players. This could be a problem. I don't know if Maven heals bosses. We'll find out. If Maven heals the boss, then our run is bricked. Maven doesn't heal the boss. We just dodge shit. Now, as far as clear goes, we are an occultist. We need to turn on our auras. I don't know how these keep getting turned off. Oh, I do know. Why is my automation not turning on? Well, don't worry guys, we're professionals here. We do have a button that we have added called Flame Golem, which normally you would just summon him and he would stay out, yeah, except he's gonna die a lot. So we'll just resummon him whenever he dies. It's alright. Play is fairly simple. Just drop mines, watch Profane Bloom do all the work. In the map itself, shock ground probably doesn't matter. We're super tanky. And so you should be fine just running through all the shocked ground on the map. Versus bosses, you probably don't want to stand in any shocked ground. As you can see, clear is pretty solid. Now some of these really tanky rares could take a few seconds to kill. And don't forget, if Bernie dies, you can resummon him at the touch of a button. Bernie's probably gonna be dead a lot though. All we care about from Bernie is that extra damage, because we are a 1-div build, so damage is on the budget. I would say on the average our DPS is about 1 million, and then it'll be minus whatever map modifiers are out there. And so this map has Res on it, and so we're doing about 85% less damage than we would normally be doing because of the Res that's on the targets. That's alright. Alright. No big deal. Boss time. Now, Abomination map has a few unique things that you need to be concerned with when bossing. And so the first one is choose the boss kill order that fits your character the best. I like killing Dodre first because that puts the totems up, or sorry, the monoliths up that you need to deal with. And then I typically kill Chevron second so that I don't have to deal with the degens on the ground from Malagaro. But since we are now a ranged character, we can probably just kill Malagaro second because we can just not stand in the degens. Now you can see Bernie died. We summon him again. Bernie's dead again. I don't think Bernie is really going to be alive much on this map. There's too much AoE from these bosses. Damage versus bosses is really solid. 1-div budget, we're kind of melting Dodri here. We are a punishment curse base, so as soon as Dodri hits 50%, we're going to start doing even more damage to her. I think we do enough damage on this build that we can go ahead and just ignore the monoliths and kill the bosses one by one instead. I believe the monoliths will vanish once you spawn the final boss out of the group. It is true, we could trigger Bernie on cast when damage taken. Move our curse punishment over to self-cast. Well, we don't want to self-cast our punishment curse though, because Hex Blast is chomping on curses. So we need that cast and stun curse for sure. Sorry, Bernie. You're just gonna be dead. Again, we are targeting down Malagaro. We do much less damage right now because the purple monolith makes us deal 50% less damage. So we can probably fight over near the purple monolith so that we do kill it over time. The red monolith makes you take increased damage, and I believe the green makes you... I don't know, the green is less damage, the purple is less action speed. I mean, they're both damage losses for us. We can just kill near one of them. Maybe one of them will accidentally die. Kind of tucking back in the corner here just to get both of these bosses to want to be near the monolith. So we do want to try to make sure that we're getting Malagaro lower. Shouldn't be too hard because Chavron goes into a little mini immune phase here while she hurls lots of life regenerating balls at us. Our recovery layers on the build are fairly straightforward. We have about a 1k life regen, about a 1k leech. Leech is being triggered by cast when damage taken, essence drain, and hex blast. We have life recovery from stunning hits via a very cheap blood notch jewel. We have life recovery on hit, or sorry, damage recoup. And we have life regenerated every time we are stunned by an attack. Now, I'm not sure if the life regenerated every time you're stunned by an attack stacks in separate instances, or if it is only one instance. Either way, it's at a minimum 5% of our life regenerated every second. So it's a very, very strong node on our stun mastery node. You do have Calling Strike on your Flame Dash, so make sure you do use that. And we're down to just Dodri. Go ahead and, or sorry, Chavron. We'll go ahead and just fight her over next to this monolith. I don't know why in particular. She'll probably die before the monolith dies, if she's ever going to come down. Does not look like Maven heals the bosses, so that is good. So just keep on tossing out your mines. Enjoy your coffee. Relax. Don't have to worry about pretty much any mechanic on this boss. The different T17 bosses have different difficulty levels. Abomination is kind of a mid-level difficulty. Fortress is super easy. Sanctuary is annoying, but it's not hard. And then Citadel is an absolute shit show nightmare. The action speed debuff on Citadel is horrible. Looks like we are going to kill this totem. This will improve our damage. Now, unfortunately, those monoliths cannot be cursed, so we are doing damage to it with the Hex Blast mines, but we don't get the explosion, so you do want to make sure that your Hex Blast mines are always targeting the bosses. So throw them nearest to the boss. I love immune phases. They're so fun and engaging. We are running 3 curses. It is Frostbite Curse from our Ring, Punishment, and Assassin's Mark from our cast when damage taken. Sorry, cast when stunned. And we're in execute phase on Chaperone. You do want to make sure that you're within the range of near on the boss, which is probably about the area effect of this Hex Blast. As long as you are near the boss, you will be applying stacks of Wither on the boss. But if you run out of range, your Wither stack could fall off. Again, don't forget about your flame dash. I know you're an execute. What the hell, Chaperone? Apparently we can't. Pulling strike support. Flame dash. Thank you. Oh, monoliths do not go away. We'll want to go ahead and kill this guy on this monolith. I don't think that there's anything that's going to hit us here that's going to kill us. But come on down, big boy. There you go. We'll still kill him on the monolith though. The only thing you do want to avoid is do not stand in the red puddles. Purple puddles just make you do less damage, but the red puddles make you take more damage, and it stacks up to 10 times, and that is a lot of damage taken. So if you start seeing yourself gaining red puddle stacks, and you look in your debuffs up here to see that, make sure you do move. And you can also physically look for it on the screen, but I mean, with Hex Blast, it's hard to see anything. And even with 7 debuffs and a red totem up, we can tank all of the boss's mechanics. Oh, apparently we're standing in a red puddle there. Red puddle is bad in K. We're putting around a 5 to a 7% shock on the boss. So that's really not too shabby. I'm looking at other stuff, not paying attention to the puddles. Stay out of the puddles, okay? Boss is down to execute phase, so we will see him start to die about 40% quicker. As far as damage scaling goes on this character, you have a lot of options for damage scaling. The biggest ones are just going to be like a great wand and a great amulet. We are obviously using very cheap wand and very cheap amulet here, but you can pick up about 2-3 million DPS just off of a good wand and a good amulet with this build. And then obviously there's a ton of other upgrades you can look at. But if you are interested in playing it and want to play a tankier version of a Hexblast Miner, so that you can do mechanics like this and not have to worry about it in the game, it is a great start until you get those good items. Probably on a wand, we would just do like a Hexblast Miner craft. Spell Critical Fracture, Prophecy Wand, and then slam Essence of Woes into it, looking for Chaos Spell Skill Gems. That would be the cheapest way to get a good wand. And execute with Flame Dash. T17 Witch done. Went a lot better than I had expected out of Witch. She can still be very tanky. Now we'll look at our passive tree first. As expected for a block-based character, we are heavily on the left side of the tree here. We're taking every single life node that is available to us so that we have as much life as possible. We are a blood magic build. We are taking block mastery here, shield mastery here, and block mastery here. We're taking reservation mastery for the reservation efficiency of life. That's the only thing we need out of this. Technically speaking, we should probably move this point to look like this. Because we don't need this mana reservation efficiency at all. Or this one. That we're finding points in the middle of the video. Take this life up here. And so we are taking this reservation mastery just for the life reservation efficiency so that we have a larger unreserved life pool. We're taking power charges here, a little bit of damage for power charge right here. We are taking our our armor mastery down here for reduced extra damage from critical strikes. And we are taking our armor mastery over here for max res. We also have Soul of Steel for max res, Nomadic Teachings for max res, and Sanctuary for max res. As you get closer and closer to 90% max res cap, all of these max res nodes become very, very good. And so stacking them up is a wonderful way to keep your defenses going. We have Divine Shield out here as a way to give us some additional recovery on our energy shield here. This node is surprisingly powerful. So don't sleep on this node at all. Carry a little bit of energy shield, and this node will give you a tremendous layer of protection versus degens and dots whenever you're fighting targets, because you are doing a ton of physical damage prevention with armor and determination aura. We also have Iron Will over here to increase our spell damage based on our strength, and Pain Attunement over here because we're going to be playing on a low life build, so we do have the 30% increased spell damage over here. Now, as far as our items go, we do have a relatively cheap wand. We'll go over how to search for some of these items real quick. So we'll re-import our witch. So that we have the up-to-date changes. And so when you're looking for a wand, all you do is go to trade for these items, find best item. We're going to go ahead and pull the EHP out of here because I don't care about life on my wand. And so we'll find best items and execute. This is going to generate a weighted search for us. This weighted search is going to give us a lot of different items, and we've got 2,825 wands that match what we're looking for. But we're doing a budget build, so we're going to say maybe we'll spend 15 chaos total on our wand. So we'll sort this by sum. And now this wand is 1 chaos. And comparably to the wand that we currently have in here, we'd add this to the build. It has no open prefix, no open suffix, so we can't do any bench crafting on it. We can apply a rune crafting, really cheap spell damage enchant on the wand, however, and slot it in our build. And this wand would actually be within 97% damage of the wand that we're currently using for 1 chaos. So don't sleep on this little search tool for finding good gear for your build on the very, very cheap. For our shield here, all we did was run a Shaper shield and Essence slammed it until we found Recover 5% life on block, and then bench crafted on Chance to block, and then coincidentally got some block spell damage and some lightning res, so that's good to have. On our crown here, we bought a I think it was 1 chaos Archdemon crown. You can probably find them for 2 to 5 chaos as well. And then we bought a 31 chaos essence of, I believe, Hysteria, which gives socketed gems deal 30% more damage while at low life. And we hit it 1 time, got lucky and got life, and then bench crafted on socketed AoE gems and increased area of effect. We have a Chaos Heart here. We have gauntlets that are just generic resistance and life gauntlets you can get off the auction house for like 1 chaos. Windscream Greaves are like 5 chaos. The amulet here, same thing as the weapon. Trade for these items. Amulet. Execute. Hit this search. Sort by whatever your budget is for this gear slot. And then sort by weighted sum. And then you have stuff like this. Now we couldn't use this mirrored amulet right here because it has -70 intelligence and we need an int. But we could use, for example, this thing. Now herbalism is not good. We would need testudo, so a corrupted amulet's not ideal. Here's a mirrored amulet. Now you can put anoints on these mirrored amulets. You just have to use reflective oil to do it. But if you don't want to include corrupted and mirrored amulets in your search, you can just come in here and go no corrupted and no mirrored. Hit the search again. Now it's a little too complex, so we're going to pull a couple of things off that we really don't care about. And then we'll sort the search again. So again, right at the top here, this one is 20 chaos. It's got a prefix, suffix, suffix, suffix. And so it's full prefixes, full suffixes. I would probably go with this one that has an open prefix so that we could craft on damage while leeching. So same thing here. We throw this one into our spreadsheet. We add damage while leeching. Add it to our build. And this one is a significant damage increase for us with a grand total of 15 chaos. So always keep an eye out for good items like that that are on the cheap that you can get for your build. Our ring here, we are looking for just a frostbite ring with like something useful. Just they're like 15 chaos a piece. Just get a frostbite ring with something useful. We have a Valyrian moonstone ring here. This is a corrupted one. There are a metric fuck ton of Valyrian moonstone rings out there that people have corrupted that have useful implicits on them. So just look for corrupted ones on the cheap. This one is not useful. Obviously, we're not running anger, but you just go through the list. These are all like 1, 2 chaos. I think I picked up mine for 5 chaos. Just go through the list and find one that has a good corruption. A trick for searching for this is we go not maximum energy shield implicit. And now it'll only show those with unique corruptions to the ring. Something that like determination aura would be good. Maybe you're missing some int on the build. Lightning damage spells and attacks doesn't really benefit us that much. But you can just go through and find something that is useful for your build and when you're looking for these corrupted rings. Like this level 23 despair skill, you could run that instead of Assassin's Mark, and that would probably be a DPS increase for you because that 23 despair is very powerful. So on and so forth. So not a real complicated way to search for this stuff. Our belt here is just a generic life and resistance belt. It happened to have strength on it too, so that is nice. We're running a topaz flask, a diamond flask, a granite flask, a jade flask, and an amethyst flask. The only reason we're running a topaz flask is because that flask was like 1 chaos because it had the enchant already on there and it had gain charges when enemy hit. I didn't care what flask it was, it just happened to be a topaz. We're running a diamond flask with charges, gain when hit, and crit. It could be stun and block recovery or something else useful there. We're running charges when hit by an enemy and evasion, charges when hit by an enemy and armor, and charges when hit by an enemy and increased block and stun recovery. We bought the cheapest blood notch jewel on the market and the cheapest immutable force jewel on the market. And then we just have a couple of useful jewels down here. Again, you can search for these with the trade for these items search tool, just like you could on the other ones, and just look for useful stats on it, plus some sort of damage increase on it. This one was actually a really nice find right here with max life and both increased damage and spell damage while holding a shield. So very, very nice. As far as skills go, we are running Cast When Stunned, Essence Drain, Assassin's Mark, and Punishment. We are running Tempest Shield with Determination and Eternal Blessing, Hex Blast with High Impact Mine, Minefield, and Charged Mines, Summon Flame Golem with Meat Shield, which I'll probably just change that out to Cast When Damage or Cast When Stunned. That way, it'll just continuously summon our Flame Golem over and over again. He'll die a lot, but he'll be up some of the time, and we'll do extra damage. Automation tied to Detonate Mines, this is a requirement. Petrified Blood is also a very important part of our build for keeping us on low life, and then our Flame Dash with Culling Strike. And then our Frostbite, of course, is from our ring. You absolutely have to have Frostbite on your ring as a way to make sure that you have curses on the target all of the time, to make Hex Blast do the explosion, which increases the amount of damage it does, especially on clear. Now, if you have any questions on any of this, especially any of the interactions between the ring and Hex Blast, leave a comment down below or come by Twitch. I'm happy to help, and a lot of those questions are often most easily answered like on stream rather than off stream. I stream like 8 to 18 hours a day, depending on what day it is, and so you can usually find me. But again, thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day.